Nightwing. He's not just Batman's former sidekick, or a cool vigilante with acrobatic skills. He's become a symbol of something bigger. Hey, it's Jug, and today we're talking about Nightwing and masculinity. From his days as Robin to becoming a hero in his own right, Dick Grayson's journey is one that challenges traditional ideas about what it means to be a man in the world of superhero. Let's dive in and see how Nightwing has redefined masculinity for generations of comic book fans. Dick Grayson's journey started out in a pretty traditional way. As the first Robin, he was the classic boy sidekick, cheerful, optimistic, and eager to learn from Batman. But even back then, Dick represented something different. Unlike Batman, who was driven by trauma and vengeance, Robin, especially Dick, was a more lighthearted and hopeful figure. He wasn't about brooding or anger. He was about doing the right thing because it was right, not because of some inner darkness. When Dick eventually stepped out of Batman's shadow to become Nightwing, he wasn't just taking on a new name and costume. He was redefining what it meant to be a hero. Nightwing doesn't have the same harsh, solitary approach to crime fighting as Bruce. Instead, he values relationships, empathy, and teamwork. These qualities might not seem traditionally masculine in the same way Batman's stoic, lone wolf persona is, but that's what makes Nightwing such a unique character. He shows that strength doesn't have to mean pushing people away or bottling up emotions. One of the most important things about Nightwing is how vulnerable he's allowed to be. Unlike many superheroes who hide their feelings behind a mask of toughness, Dick is open about his emotions. Whether he's dealing with the loss of his parents, his complex relationship with Bruce, or his struggles with love and friendship, Nightwing isn't afraid to show what he feels. In a genre where male heroes are often portrayed as emotionally distant or solely driven by anger, Nightwing stands out as a character who understands the importance of emotional intelligence. He's a guy who values his relationships with the Teen Titans, with Barbara Gordon, with Alfred, and even with Batman. In fact, some of his most powerful moments come not from fights, but from the conversations he has with the people he cares about, or the people he helps. Let's talk about physicality for a second. Nightwing is often portrayed as one of the most physically capable heroes in the DC universe. He's an acrobat, a fighter, and incredibly fit. But what makes him stand out is how his physicality isn't tied to toxic masculinity. While characters like Batman and other male heroes are sometimes written as stoic brutes, Nightwing's strength is tied to his grace and fluidity. His fighting style is about agility, speed, and precision, not just raw power. He shows that being masculine doesn't mean just being the biggest or strongest guy in the room. It can mean being in control of your body and knowing how to use it to protect others. And let's not forget that Nightwing's acrobatic skills are a big part of what makes him such an interesting character. He moves like a gymnast, a dancer almost, showing that masculinity doesn't have to be stiff or rigid. As Nightwing, Dick Grayson has taken on the role of leader many times, but especially with the Teen Titans. Instead of ruling with fear or intimidation like Batman using fear with the villains of Gotham, Nightwing leads with compassion and trust. He believes in lifting up others, empowering his teammates, and fostering a sense of community. He isn't threatened by sharing the spotlight, and he's always looking for ways to build stronger connections with those around him. This reflects a more modern, progressive view of masculinity. Nightwing shows that being a leader doesn't mean being authoritarian or domineering. It means being supportive, empathetic, and willing to listen. He doesn't just fight alongside his teammates, he cares about them, and that's a big part of what makes him such a respected hero. One of the most important aspects of Nightwing's masculinity is his independence. He isn't just a copy of Batman, he's his own person with his own identity. When Dick Grayson chose the name Nightwing, it was a moment of self-discovery, a way for him to step out of Batman's shadow and become a hero on his own terms. And this independence is central to who Nightwing is. For many men, the journey to define themselves apart from their mentors, fathers, or authority figures is a key part of growing up. Nightwing represents that idea perfectly. He respects Bruce and sees Bruce's positive traits, but he doesn't want to be Bruce. He shows us that masculinity isn't about living up to someone else's expectations, it's about finding your own path and staying true to who you are. So, what does Nightwing represent in a world of superheroes and masculinity? He's a character who shows that being a man doesn't have to mean being closed off, emotionally distant, or driven by rage. Instead, Nightwing embodies a healthier, more balanced view of masculinity, one that values emotional intelligence, compassion, vulnerability, and independence. Whether it's his relationship, his leadership style, or his physicality, Nightwing challenges the traditional, sometimes considered toxic, ideas of what it means to be a man in a superhero world. He shows us that strength comes from more than just muscles and toughness. It comes from being confident in who you are, caring for those around you, and having the courage to follow your own path. Now, that's not to say that other heroes don't have great masculine traits that should be emulated, but Nightwing just shows us what the peak of masculinity truly could be. But what do you think? Has Nightwing redefined masculinity in the DC universe? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.